our first guest in the series, Kylie Hansen. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm really excited to have you here and to talk about like what it's really like to go through bariatric surgery. Did the therapy kind of help you kind of back, get to a more realistic workout routine, or talk about a little bit?
Yeah. So I think it's really important to remember that every season of life that you're in is going to dictate, how much of yourself you can dedicate to the workouts that you do or the exercise routine that you do. And so for me right now, I have a 7-month-old baby where it's very difficult for me to get to the gym. So I've kind of had to look at my reality and what I expect from myself, and is it realistic for me to think, a 6 days a week gym regimen is ideal for me? No, it's not in this season of life. So it doesn't mean that when my son is 2 years old, I can't get back to, a more strict, regimented routine. That's fine. But it is so important to look at where you are right now, and, and it's okay if your movements are simple, or if you can only do a 20-minute workout in your living room. I focus more on bodily movement than I do, I got to go and lift 250 pounds at the gym, that only adds a lot of stress. And so I don't need any additional stress in my life right now. And so I really try to just focus on like the bariatric foundations is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
And I ask myself, what are my non-negotiables that I want to get done for the day? And a lot of times it will be like my step count. Okay, today I'm going to get 10,000 steps, and that's it, because I got a busy day. My kid is sick, all the things. And I really look at my life right now, and I just try to be real with myself. I try not to look at other people on social media who don't have kids or who's 18 years old doing all the things when my life looks completely different than theirs.
Yeah. I agree. I love that. And having compassion for yourself too, right? You're like, I may not do it today, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's always just, as long as I do something, right? Like I may not able to, but like you can just pick one thing that you can do, and you can do it. And if you can't do all the things, then it's okay. And so I love that. And so how do you get rid of the baby weight, and how was that experience for you? So after bariatric surgery, gaining weight during pregnancy, because that's what happens. And then what was your mentality, thought process? What did you do during that process?
So I've had 2 babies after my bariatric procedure. And they are 2 completely different pregnancies. So my first pregnancy, I feel like was much easier compared to my most recent one. I was able to exercise the entire time. I actually remember the day I went into labor, I was out running 3 miles. I mean, I was very consistent with my workouts. I did CrossFit. I didn't focus too much on like strict nutrition. I just kind of listened to my body and ate what I felt like I needed to. And then after the baby, the weight just came off. And when I was cleared to exercise, I did. And I just head in the game, started exercising. It was easy. Now, this second pregnancy has been a completely different story. I actually severely herniated a disc in my back right before my pregnancy. And because of that, I wasn't able to get treatments or injections in my spine during the duration of my pregnancy. So my exercise routine was very, I was lucky if I got a walk-in. I'll just say that. And so now I am struggling to get off the additional 30 pounds, because I gained about 60-ish this pregnancy. I've gotten off about 30 to 35. So now I'm still working on the last little bit. I will say though that it is very, very difficult. I do have to have my head in the game, and I do have to set a time, 20 to 30 minutes a day of intentional bodily movement. A lot of times it's just right here in my living room because I've got my baby here. So it's just really focusing and dedicating time every single day. It's about being intentional with my nutrition, and really just asking myself, is the food that I'm eating today going to help me, or is it going to work against me?
Yeah, that's perfect. I tell my patients to ask themselves that all the time. And then when you make that decision, be okay with that decision. Like if you want to go to a birthday, own it. If you want to go to a birthday party and whatever food that you may not normally eat, and you say, this is going to not help me, but that's what I want to do, then own it and move on. Don't shame yourself. Don't feel guilty. You know, do it, move on. The next day is a new day. So I 100% agree.
And I do. And I like to say too that, you know, I didn't have bariatric surgery to eat chicken and broccoli the rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't. I can still enjoy foods that I love. There's just a way to do it, right? Instead of opening the entire pack of Oreos and eating them right out of the sleeve, put them on a plate, put them in a Ziploc bag, you know, find a way to eat the foods that you love. Of course, when you're out of that phase where you're, you know, right after surgery, you shouldn't be eating Oreos. But, you know, yesterday we went to an Easter party and they had cookies that they were decorating and they were big, massive sugar cookies. Did I want one? Of course I did. But instead, I decided to have a couple bites of my son's cookie, right? And it's those small little shifts that I feel we as bariatric patients have to do in order to still eat the foods that we love, like sugar cookies, and still get the results that we want. My old self would have had 2 or 3 of those cookies. You know, and so it's asking yourself, how can I still incorporate the foods that I love in a healthier way? Because it's not the food necessarily that got me to be a bariatric patient, but it's how I abused the food, and it's my toxic relationship with food. And so if I want to be successful with my surgery, I have to mend that relationship, and mending it doesn't mean completely getting rid of the things that I love.
Yep. You're exactly right. No, you're exactly right. And I love the way that you're phrasing it, because that's actually, and this is coming from a bariatric surgeon, not the way to do it. Like, I don't want you, and I say, I don't want you to give up all those foods, because kind of what you mentioned earlier, that's stress. And believe it or not, stress on the body is a weight gainer in itself. Like that causes so many other inflammatory reactions in your body. You wouldn't even be able to lose weight the way you want it to, if you could, because of all the stress from, I can't eat this. I mean, it can cause anxiety, just stuff that's like not even warranted. There's a way to do it. And I love that you talk about the relationship with food, mend that, figure out why that is. Why is that, right? And that may require going to therapy or talking to, you know, a support system or whatever the case may be. And then mend that and fix it. And then enjoy food, enjoy life. So I really appreciate you correlating the two.
Yes.
The other thing that I did a lot, and that I did when I was helping a lot of my bariatric patients, is working out with young ones is hard. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the things, and I don't know if you can do this with your back or if you've experienced this, but one of the things, walking a stroller, believe it or not, in itself is a workout. I used to record myself walking the stroll. I'm like, this is a workout. And I am just doing HIIT workouts. And this, I'm sweating, you know what I'm saying? Try going up a hill in that big old bulky stroller, plus your 20-pound baby or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, that's a workout in itself. So have like compassion on yourself when that may be all you want to do. It's you're spending time with your baby, you're getting out in nature, and you're just walking, and that's good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, and it's one thing that I like to point out too, is that we have this idea in our head of what our workouts should look like and what our exercise regimen should be like every day. And we kind of have to rid all of that, because there's not a right or wrong way. Like you said, if all you can do today is get out and walk with your baby and push him in a stroller because of however many, whatever it is, then that's fine. It doesn't have to be at the gym. It doesn't have to be, all of these crazy things that in our mind, and so like you said, give compassion to yourself, give grace to yourself, and just do what you can until this current season of life is over and a new season of life begins. And then you can maybe think about changing what you're doing. But I think we put too much additional stress on ourselves to try and make it something that might be too much for us right now. And I like to use exercise and bodily movement as one of my puzzle pieces to keep, because it's almost like if I don't move my body, I don't have that endorphin release or momentum to keep going. If I don't exercise, then in my mind, I'm like, well, then I kind of just screwed up. I can eat whatever I want for the day. But if I dedicate 20 to 30 minutes of my day to exercise, I don't want to eat junky foods. I don't want to go and binge on cupcakes and cookies, because I just dedicated 30 minutes of my life to exercise that I want to help me lose weight. So exercise and nutrition kind of go hand in hand. And, one without the other is very difficult to accomplish your goals. And so using exercise as one of your puzzle pieces to having bariatric success is so important.
Yeah, I agree. And it's one of the things that really helps with maintenance. Like, believe it or not, and you probably know this, after bariatric surgery, you lose a lot of muscle mass. Purely for bariatric surgery, you're just dropping the weight. And so you lose muscle mass, and because of that, metabolism actually goes down. And so I always say, you know, just try to hold on to as much as you can during your weight loss journey. And then once you hit your, you know, you're in maintenance mode, just do it for maintenance, you know, for endorphins, because it's fun, and find ways to make it fun. You're right. Like this whole idea of I have to go to the gym may not work for you. Like just what you said, like seasons for me has changed also. Like as my kids got older, and now they're at the age we have a lot of after school activities, and so now I have to do it during the day. You know, I just got to find it other times, you know what I'm saying? A lunch break, walk around your building, whatever the case may be, you know? Right. So
our priorities in life change. They're constantly changing, and we have to learn to kind of mold and, you know, be resilient when life throws us things that maybe we weren't expecting. You know, right after my bariatric surgery, I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a lot of the things that I have now. So I was able to dedicate more of myself to my journey. Whereas now I have priorities that are bigger than my weight loss journey. And, you know, when my kids are grown and out of the house, I might be able to go back to, you know, how it used to be. And that's fine. But for now, I'm going to focus on what's right in front of me. You know, I don't like to focus on what's behind or, you know, too far ahead of me, because that only causes, you know, tunnel vision. And I want to be present, and I want to enjoy life right now and enjoy being a mom. And if I'm constantly focused on, well, I got to lose this weight and I got to do this, and I can't wait until this happens and I'll be happy when, then I'm not fully present and enjoying the current season that I'm in.
Yeah, you're missing out. You're totally missing out. So I agree. So my last question for you, and then we'll wrap it up. A lot of people have the myth that bariatric surgery is something easy. We've had several conversations back and forth, just how difficult it can be. What did you find was the most difficult season during this journey?
I think for me, the most difficult component or aspect of bariatric surgery in my case was the mental shift. I think it was so incredibly hard for me to have go from a mindset that had nothing to do with a health and fitness journey, and then have bariatric surgery and still have that same mindset.
Oh my gosh.
And not know what to do with the surgery. And the surgery is a tool, and the tool only works if you work. And I didn't know how to work around this new tool, because I wasn't educated on that. I didn't know. I didn't have social media friends and all the things. I just wasn't sure. And so for me, that mindset shift, the confidence, I felt like after bariatric surgery, you start to realize how differently you're treated as a small person than as an overweight person. I didn't like that. I didn't like that people were finally starting to tell me I was beautiful, when the first 19 years of my life, nobody bothered to tell me that. And so, you know, things like that start to come to light, and it's really difficult on your mental health. To see that change. And so I would definitely say that the hardest part for me in my journey was the mental part, for sure.
No, I agree. Sure. Well, thank you so much, Kylie, for starting this journey with us and being on the show. You guys can all follow her on social media and Instagram. She is the bariatric fitness coach, and I highly recommend, you see how genuine she is. So I highly recommend you guys go and you follow her and learn from each other, you know?
Yes. I'm always striving to help bariatric patients and be real and raw with everything that I do, and share tips and tricks. My Instagram handle is kyliehansen.vsg. That's my Instagram handle. So I'd be happy to help anybody that needs any additional support.
Yeah. And your baby's super cute. So
Thank
that's
you.
Another reason to go and see.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.